Second-day spike of over 400 COVID-19 cases have been reported in the country since the lifting of the lockdown, to add to the 6 deaths reported in the past 24 hours. The scenario suggests that the country is bracing for more troubled times in the terms of community spread of the virus. With the government hinting that it would not impose the nationwide lockdown, people are well advised to take maximum precautionary measures in our fight against COVID-19. Good morning, I'm Sarah Sapsanama and these are the headlines of the hour. 6 more deaths due to COVID-19 reported. Death toll climbs to 72. 464 cases reported in the country to take the infection tally past 22,000. Dearth of hospital beds hits Province 1. Non-essential services in Kapilvastu shut down. District administration offices in Kathmandu Valley to halt services. At least 17 dead and over dozens injured as an Air India Express plane crashes in southern state of Kerala. And Champions League journey for European heavyweights Real Madrid and Juventus ends. Manchester City and Lyon through to quarter-finals. Six more COVID-19 patients have succumbed to the coronavirus, taking the death tally in the country to 72. 3 deaths were reported from the capital's Patan Hospital and 3 from Birganj Parsa. 2 COVID-19 patients from Sarlahi and Birganj succumbed to the virus while they were being treated at the Patan Hospital. Both the men from Sarlahi and Birganj were aged 45. Likewise, a woman from Sunauli undergoing treatment at the Patan Hospital also passed away yesterday. The COVID-19 patient who died last night at BP Koirala Health Science Academy in Dharan was a 25-year-old youth from Siraha, Gol Bazar. Likewise, the swab samples of an 80-year-old from Birganj, Murli, who died on Tuesday at his residence, also tested positive yesterday. The country recorded 464 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday, the highest single-day spike since the lockdown was lifted in the country. Likewise, the federal capital too registered the highest single-day spike with 92 new cases. Meanwhile, the Kathmandu Valley recorded 106 new cases with 10 from Lalitpur, 4 from Bhaktapur and 92 from Kathmandu district. Meanwhile, 425 individuals registered full recovery and were discharged from various isolation centers in the past 24 hours. With this, the total number of recovery in the country has reached 15,814. 6,330 individuals are undergoing treatment at various hospitals at the moment. With the community spread of the coronavirus being detected at the community level, the hospitals in Province 1 are experiencing lack of hospital beds. The infected are now being kept at home isolation. The Province 1 government has been accused of lacking the sensitivity to address the scenario. On 3rd of August last week, Biratnagar's Rangeli municipality detected 22 cases of coronavirus. As the hospital cited lack of beds, the infected were forced to stay at home quarantine. It was only the next day, around 7 in the evening, that 9 infected females were referred to Dharan's BP Koirala Health Science Academy, while the remaining 13 infected males were referred to Purvanchal University COVID-19 isolation ward on Wednesday. Meanwhile, BP Koirala Health Science Academy, Purvanchal University COVID-19 Isolation Center and Koshi Hospital in Biratnagar have all announced that they have been fully occupied. With the lack of hospital beds, 6 infected in Biratnagar have been told to self-quarantine at their houses. Similar reports of lack of beds are also pouring in from other places in Province 1. Meanwhile, there are some 86 COVID-19 patients who have not been admitted at any hospitals or COVID-19 centers due to lack of bed in Province 1. Now, all the non-essential administrative offices in Kapilvastu have been shut down for 10 days amid a surge in coronavirus cases. Chief District Officer of Kapilvastu, Dirganaran Podil, informed that the 10-day shutdown of non-essential administrative offices is implemented from Friday itself. Banking sector and transport services has also been halted. 25 cases were reported between Tuesday to Thursday in Kapilvastu. Meanwhile, Suryodaya Municipality and Sandakpur Rural Municipality in Ilam implemented lockdown in local level since last night. All the 3 district administration offices in Kathmandu Valley have announced that they would halt their services for 15 days. The joint meeting of the chief district officers of all 3 districts in the Kathmandu Valley decided to halt all but security services. The services related to the distribution of citizenship and passports will be affected by the decision. The meeting resolved to strictly monitor the implementation of health guidelines. With the decision of the virus in some business operators at the capital's Mahabodha and New Road areas, all the businesses are to be shut down until the test results of other business owners are out. The government is all geared up to authorize a departmental secretary to have rights to transfer up to 25% of the budget approved by the parliament. The decision to be incorporated in the Finance Ministry's Financial Work Plan regulation is likely to affect the government programs. The draft of the regulation is currently under discussion. The previous regulation of presenting the proposal to the Finance Ministry by the concerned department if budget listed under capital expenses needed to be transferred is now going to be amended. The Finance Ministry previously had the right to take a decision on approving the proposal or not. However, the regulation is now all set to be amended as the departmental secretary might take a decision on transferring up to 25% of the budget. This means that the departmental secretary now will have the right to alter government plans and use up to 25% of the budget under any heading. According to experts in the field, the scenario is likely to give way to more corruption at secretary level. Heated debate has escalated in the Kathmandu metropolis with the agreement of taking on lease the Kathmandu Plaza located in the capital's Kamaladi for 10 years at a hefty amount of 6 million rupees per month. The Deputy Mayor of Kathmandu Metropolis, Hariprava Khadki, is of the view that their own building should be renovated instead of leasing a new building paying a hefty rent amount, whereas the Mayor of the Kathmandu Metropolis, Bidya Sundar Shakya, has taken the stand of transferring the office of Kathmandu Metropolis to the new building. We have more in this report.
The Kathmandu Metropolis has signed an agreement to rent the building of Kathmandu Plaza, located in Kamaladi and owned by Nepal Trust, for the rental amount of 6 million rupees per month. The Metropolis has also planned to rent the remaining flats to a third party. However, the dispute escalated after a recent cabinet meeting barred the Metropolis from renting the remaining flats to a third party. Deputy Mayor Hariprava Khadki has maintained that the building of Kathmandu Metropolis should be renovated instead of leasing other buildings. The building owned by Nepal Trust was earlier used by Concept Developers Private Limited. As the contract with Concept Developers ended on 16th of June earlier this year, the Kathmandu Metropolis contracted the building for the next 10 years. The Metropolis is located in a rented building at Sundhara, which lies at a close proximity with their old building. The Metropolis is currently paying a monthly rent amount of 2.7 million rupees. According to Mayor Shakya, service seekers are facing problem due to the dispersed offices. Mayor Shakya is of the view that the office should be shifted to the new building at the earliest. The Metropolis has been providing services from 8 different locations from different rented buildings. Given the scenario, the Metropolis has claimed that the decision of shifting to the Kathmandu Plaza has been taken to minimize the problems faced by service seekers.
In our Public Voice segment, we have asked the local residents in Surkhet district what could be done, should be done in fact, to protect the villages that are facing high risk of rain-induced disasters. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
सरकारले भने जस्तो गरेको छैन जनताले धेरै दुःख कष्टहरु भोग्नु परेको छ अनि जनताले त्यहाँबाट छिटै नै त्यहाँबाट सारिनु पर्छ भन्ने म अनुरोध गर्दछु
जहाँ जोखिम नहुने छ त्यो ठाउँमा ल्याएर राख्दिनुस् कति दिनसम्म हुन्छ के हुन्छ त्यसपछिको विकल्प पनि के हुन्छ उनीहरुको फ्युचर पनि सोच्दिनुस्
खाली कार्यक्रम मात्रै ल्याएर चाहिँ भएन चाहिँ यसलाई चाहिँ एकदमै कार्यान्वयन यो वर्ष पनि कार्यान्वयन गर्दिएको भए केही नभए थोरै बस्तीहरु चाहिँ एकदम जोखिमबाट मुक्त हुन्थे अहिले कालीकोटमा धेरै मान्छे मरे
त्यो भन्ने मात्रै हैन गरिदिनु पर्यो त्यसले सरकारले
Time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse, brought to you by...
The question is, how can the risk factors be minimized when the COVID-19 infected stay in home isolation? Your options are A. Increase monitoring by doctors, B. Be aware oneself, and C. Construct a community isolation. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for our special segment, Media Watch.
Speaking at the meeting called by Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli on Tuesday, health experts urged the government to adopt strict health measures and reimpose the lockdown, citing community spread of coronavirus in the country. Some of the experts, meanwhile, suggested that the government should reimpose the lockdown only in the worst-hit areas so that it doesn't hurt the country's economy. At the meeting, Prime Minister Oli stated the government alone cannot control the spread of coronavirus and also urged all concerned political parties not to wage protests against the government amid the ongoing health crisis. Speaking at the weekly government press briefing held on Thursday, government spokesman Yuvraj Khatibora informed the government is not in favor of reimposing the nationwide lockdown at the moment and said lockdowns, however, can be reimposed in areas where there are high risks of coronavirus spread. Meanwhile, the government reimposed the odd-even number plate system in both public and private vehicles from Thursday onwards in districts that have more than 200 active cases of COVID-19, including the Kathmandu Valley. Likewise, the government also decided to restrict the movement of public vehicles from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. A survey report on the impact of COVID-19 in the country's economy made public by Nepal Rashtra Bank on Wednesday has shown that private organizations have laid off almost 22.5% of their employees and deducted an average of 18.2% of their salaries during the lockdown period of almost 4 months, which was imposed in the country to contain the spread of coronavirus. Among the total employees laid off, 2/3 were temporary and contract-based employees, according to the survey report. The report states the hotel and restaurant sector has laid off the maximum number of employees and have deducted salaries, allowances, and other benefits. The central bank has assumed that it would take almost 9 months for industries and businesses to return to normalcy. Meanwhile, entrepreneurs have said that they would not be able to give continuity to their businesses for long if the government reimposes the lockdown. The survey shows that only 61% of the businesses and industries were completely shut down during the lockdown period, 35% were in partial operation, while only 4% were in full operation. Productions and transactions were reduced by an average of 73.8% during the lockdown period as compared to the normal situation before the lockdown was imposed. This is Abhyuday Shrestha for Media Watch and Kantipur News Desk.
That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a great day ahead.